Welcome to Tax Smarts Unlocked, the podcast for individuals and small business owners looking to conquer the tax landscape with confidence. Hosted by seasoned tax professional David Robson of Premier Tax and Business Services, each episode is packed with insightful advice on proactive tax planning to help you navigate the complexities of tax laws. Here's your host, David Robson.
Welcome to another episode of Tax Smarts Unlocked, where we dive into the world of tax advice and proactive planning to help you keep more of what you earn. I'm your host, David Robson, and today we're tackling a topic that's more relevant than ever: the tax implications of remote work. With remote work becoming a fixture in the professional landscape, understanding its tax consequences is crucial for both employers and employees. So let's get into it. To start, let's take a look at the current trends in remote work. The COVID-19 pandemic brought about a massive shift, pushing companies to adopt remote work on a scale we've never seen. Even as the world gradually returns to normal, many businesses have opted to continue offering flexible work arrangements. And why not? It presents a host of benefits, from increased productivity to reduced overhead costs. However, this shift also comes with new challenges, especially when it comes to taxes. One of the most significant concerns for both employers and employees is understanding how state tax laws apply. In the U.S., taxes are not just federal. Each state has its own laws, and they can vary significantly. Traditionally, your tax obligations were determined by where you worked, but remote work blurs those lines. For instance, if an employee lives in one state and works remotely for a company based in another, or moves their location frequently, it can create complexities in determining which state's tax laws apply. Let's delve deeper into this. Some states have what's known as convenience of the employer rules. Under these rules, if you work remotely for your convenience, rather than out of necessity, your work is considered to be done at the employer's location for tax purposes. This was a big issue during the pandemic and continues to be a concern for many. New York, for example, enforces this rule strictly. Employees and employers must be aware of these nuances, as they can significantly impact tax liability. Now let's talk about employee classifications. It's important for both businesses and their employees to understand the difference between remote employees and independent contractors. With remote work booming, more people are working as independent contractors, enjoying the flexibility but also facing the tax challenges. Employees typically have taxes withheld from their paychecks and receive a W-2 form, but independent contractors receive a 1099 form and need to handle their own tax withholdings, which can be a shock come tax season if not managed properly. Moreover, there are tax deductions that remote employees might be eligible for that can help ease their tax burden. For those who qualify, home office deductions can be a significant benefit. Here, the key is understanding what qualifies as a legitimate home office expense. The space must be used regularly and exclusively for work, which might exclude that couch where your kids watch TV. Equipment purchases related to creating a home office can also be deducted under certain conditions. But be aware, if you're an employee, unreimbursed expenses aren't deductible on your federal tax return due to changes from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, but they might be deductible on your state return. For employers, compliance with state and local tax laws is critical. This means keeping up to date with where your employees are working from and ensuring you're adhering to the corresponding tax requirements. It's not uncommon for businesses to face unexpected tax obligations if employees work from states with different tax laws. Payroll taxes and withholding becomes more complex with a remote workforce distributed across various locations. Companies need to ensure proper registration in states where their employees reside, potentially subjecting themselves to sales tax obligations if revenue is generated there. Let's turn to some real-life case studies that highlight common tax challenges faced by remote workers and employers. One example is a company based in California, which allowed its workforce to operate remotely during the pandemic. Unbeknownst to them, several employees moved to Texas, Florida, and other states, either temporarily or permanently. As a result, the company had to navigate multi-state payroll taxes and adapt their compliance strategies. From the employee's perspective, we've seen scenarios where individuals assumed they didn't have to pay state taxes when working remotely from another state, only to find themselves liable for taxes in both their home state and the employer's state. It's vital to track your work locations and keep accurate records to avoid unexpected tax bills. So, what practical steps can employees take to manage their remote work expenses effectively? First, maintain detailed records of expenses related to your home office setup. Having receipts and logs of daily work can be crucial for substantiating deductions if you're eligible. Also, consider the impact of your remote work on personal tax filings when moving across state lines. Employers also have a role in structuring compensation packages that recognize the unique circumstances of remote work. Offering stipends for home office expenses or covering internet costs can be attractive benefits that also consider tax implications. However, ensure these are communicated clearly with your payroll department to ensure they are handled correctly for tax purposes. To wrap things up, remember that proactive tax planning is key to minimizing tax liabilities in a remote work environment. As an employer, make sure to review your policies regularly to remain compliant with tax laws across different jurisdictions. And as a remote worker, stay informed about how state tax laws may affect you, and consider consulting a tax professional to navigate this complex landscape. It's a brave new world of work, and with the right planning, it doesn't have to be a tax nightmare. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Tax Smarts Unlocked. We've covered a lot of ground today, from understanding state tax nuances to exploring strategies for both employees and employers to manage their tax obligations effectively while working remotely. We hope you find this information useful as you continue your remote work journey. Join us next time for more insights to unlock your tax smarts. Until then, stay informed and keep those tax worries at bay.
Thank you for joining us on Tax Smarts Unlocked, the ultimate podcast for individuals and small business owners ready to conquer the tax landscape with confidence. Hosted by seasoned tax professional David Robson of Premier Tax and Business Services. Each episode has been carefully crafted to provide you with insightful advice on proactive tax planning. By adopting a smarter tax approach, you can focus on what you do best, growing your wealth and your business. We're here to guide you every step of the way. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe to Tax Smarts Unlocked on your favorite podcast platform and unlock the secrets to confident tax planning. Remember, it's time to take control of your taxes and unleash your full financial potential.